Sometimes the villain role is more fun than playing the hero. Let's get into some right now. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Now, I've been doing a lot of R-rated action films lately, and a friend of mine said you should do a list of your favorite action movie villains. So I looked through a list of villains, went through some films, some I've just reviewed within the last 6 months, and I compiled a list of my favorite R-rated action films only. That's what I'm going off of. So let's get into it. I'm going to have one honorable mention, and I'm going to give it to Mr. Joshua from Lethal Weapon, played by Gary Busey. He doesn't have a whole... I mean, he's good in the role, and some could say he's not the main villain, but he is the one that does most of the villainous acts in the film. So we're going to go with Mr. Joshua as an honorable mention from Lethal Weapon. Now, 15, I'm going to go with Bill from Kill Bill, and that's played by David Carradine. And if you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino's, he plays a fantastic bad guy in that movie. So yeah, number 15, David Carradine from Kill Bill. Number 14, we're going to go with the scene-chewing Vernon Wells, who played Bennett in Commando. He is fantastic in that film just because of how heightened that film is and the shit he says. It's just fantastic. So I had to put him on there. And so number 14, Bennett from Commando, played by Vernon Wells. Number 13, I'm going to go with Nicolas Cage from Face Off. Castor Troy is my number 13 villain. I know Nicolas Cage only plays the villain part until they switch faces and that. But in the beginning of the film, Nicolas Cage is so insanely good in the villain role that I had to put him on this list. I love him in Face Off. And even when he goes to play the good guy, it's still Nicolas Cage is fantastic in that film. So number 13, Castor Troy from Face Off. Number 12, we're going to go with Clarence Bonniger from RoboCop, played by Kurtwood Smith. He is such an asshole, and he doesn't give a shit who he has to kill. But the thing about Clarence Bonniger, when you watch that film, is he's ruthless as they come. He doesn't give a shit who he has to hurt or kill to get what he wants. But he's also smart enough to play ball with these corporate CEOs to make the money, to run his drugs. So he's smart enough to play that game of it, but he's also ruthless enough to not give one shit who he kills or what he has to do to get somebody out of his way. And that's why he's on this list. So number 12, Clarence Bonniger from RoboCop. Number 11, I'm going to go with Howard Payne from Speed, played by the great Dennis Hopper. I just reviewed this the other day. I love Speed as a film, and I like Dennis Hopper as the villain Howard Payne in that film, as this retired cop who's trying to get back at the system because he feels like he got this cheap gold watch upon retirement and pretty much has been forgotten about, even though he had all these years of service. So I kind of like Dennis Hopper in that film is very, very good, so he deserved to be on this list. At number 11, Howard Payne from Speed. Number 10, I'm going to go with Brigadier General Francis X. Hummel from The Rock, played by the great Ed Harris. I like this villain because he is a villain, but he's doing what he thinks is right for the right reasons, although he's going about it definitely the wrong way. But he's not really the villain. He is not willing to kill the people of San Francisco like he's threatening to do. He never had the intention of doing it. There was no way he was going to do it. He thought through the threat of force he can get his way. And at the end, when it fails and his team is turning against him, he still will not launch the rockets into San Francisco. I like that duality of that role, and Ed Harris pulls it off wonderfully. So number 10, Brigadier General Francis X. Hummel from The Rock. At number 9, I'm going to go with Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man, played by Wesley Snipes. What a fantastic role for Wesley Snipes. He's great in the role as the villain, playing off of Sylvester Stallone. And he's just another one who just doesn't care, but he's also smart enough. He's very smart, but he just doesn't give a shit. He'll kill anybody he has to. And I just like villains like that just don't care what happens to them or what they have to do. And yeah, so number 9, Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man, played by the great Wesley Snipes. Number 8, we're going to go with Cohagen from Total Recall. I just reviewed this about a week or two ago, played by the great Ronnie Cox. He is such a prick, and he makes an excellent villain. And Ronnie Cox is great in the role. So yes, number 8, Cohagen from Total Recall. Number 7, I'll go with Bodhi from Point Break, played by the late, great Patrick Swayze. Now, here's another role where Bodhi is not another villain that Bodhi is really not that bad of a guy. He has a code that he lives by. And half the time he's robbing banks, and half the time he's just worried about catching the biggest wave he can surfing. And I love the interaction between him and Keanu Reeves' character. Even at the end when Bodhi realizes Keanu Reeves is an FBI agent. And I just love Patrick Swayze in that role. And even though he is the villain of the movie for sure, he's not just a villain. There's more to him than that. And that's what makes him such a great bad guy in Point Break. So number 7, Bodhi, played by Patrick Swayze from Point Break. Number 6, we're going to go with Agent Smith from The Matrix, played by Hugo Weaving. What a terrific... I'm going to go... This is off the first movie. Now, obviously, Agent Smith makes an appearance in the second and third film. I don't think the second and third film are nowhere near as good as the first Matrix, so we're just concentrating on the first Matrix. Hugo Weaving makes a great bad guy in Agent Smith in that film. So yes, at number 6, we're going to go with Agent Smith from The Matrix, and Hugo Weaving played that role. Number 5, we're going to go with, now this is considered more sci-fi, but I put him in here anyway, Roy Batty from Blade Runner, played by the late, great Rutger Hauer. What a fantastic villain in that role, even though he's not really all bad either. If you think about it, he just wants to live life and get as much of it as he can as a replicant. And he's fantastic in the role, playing off of Harrison Ford's good guy, his Deckard. So yes, Roy Batty from Blade Runner at number 5, played by the late, great Rutger Hauer. Number 4, The Predator from Predator 1987. What an awesome, first of all, one of our best creatures ever made, ever filmed. The design that Stan Winston did, everything, fantastic. And what a great action movie with Schwarzenegger obviously in the lead, but what a great group of, you have just a great group of good guys against this unstoppable killing machine from outer space. So number 4, The Predator, what a great film, love that movie. Number 3, we are going to go with the T-1000 from Terminator 2, played by Robert Patrick. What a great bad guy, what a great villain. And nobody thought, how could he come up with another great villain after the Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first film? And then James Cameron gave us the T-1000, played by Robert Patrick, and he's fantastic in the role. So number 3, the T-1000 from Terminator 2. Number 2, we're going to go with the Terminator, the original one, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What a great villain. He's just a robot cyborg who has no feelings, doesn't care, just following orders, and he'll kill everybody that's on his list that he has to kill to get to his target. And it's just a fantastic role that gave his Arnold Schwarzenegger a career. So yeah, number 2, the Terminator from the original movie, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. The number 1 villain from an R-rated action movie goes to Hans Gruber from Die Hard, played by the late, great Alan Rickman. It's a shame a bunch of these guys aren't around anymore. What a fantastic villain in that movie. And another guy who is more complex than... He's not just a terrorist or a thief. There's more layers to him than that. But at the end of the day, he is just a thief. That's it. But he's willing to do what he needs to do to pull the job off and get his team out of there. And Alan Rickman knocked it out of the park in his first movie role. First major movie role, playing opposite of, obviously, John McClane. Alan Rickman, Bruce Willis was great as John McClane, but that movie wouldn't be as great if it wasn't for Alan Rickman playing the villain role to give something for John McClane to play off of. So it's a fantastic movie, and Alan Rickman comes at number 1, playing Hans Gruber in the great Die Hard. That is my list. That was my top 15 favorite action movie villains, rated R action movie villains of all time. Now, I probably missed some. I thought about some other ones to throw in. Maybe I'll do another list down the line. But who's some of your favorite movie villains from an R-rated action movie? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button on this video. Share this video too. I'd greatly appreciate any one of those 3. You all take care of each other. Have a great day, and I'll be back soon. I think I'm going to do the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy as my next review series. And then pretty soon, once August hits, I'm pretty much just going to be doing horror all day, every day. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be back soon. Take care.